And when it comes to the therapeutic container and regulation, as you're adding regulation to the room in order to be with the emotional knowings that are known in insecure attachment landscapes, you having predictable but flexible, stable, not scary responses to activation sure feels like it would help to me. That does not mean that their experience with you is undoing what happened. But maybe when they're having an earned secure attachment relationship with you, the two of you together are creating a bowl big enough to hold the level of activation that will need to be held in order to be with letting that prediction really come up and alive. And sometimes that prediction will come up and alive with you because they're relational predictions. And sometimes some experience you have, a response you have to that moment will be a mismatch for them. But not all the time. Sometimes the mismatch will live inside them already. But sometimes it will be. And we can repeat in that as well. I guess part of how I think about it is that our relationship and the therapeutic space we are creating together is going to be the thing that can support a healing brain state while these emotional knowings come up. And sometimes the mismatch will come from our space, and sometimes the mismatch will come from some other relationship in your life, and sometimes the mismatch will come as there's a deepening awareness that maybe some of the things that you learned weren't the whole truth. And maybe sometimes the mismatch comes from discovering, like from the cellular level, oh, wait a second, that wasn't about me after all. And so I think I have like I think I have a broad way of holding, oh, what potentially will create that mismatch. So there's some spaces that I've trained in where I got taught that the therapeutic relationship was the only potential mismatch. And I have not found that to be true in my work. And the therapeutic relationship and how I can respond to the various activations that come up, if I can do that in an integrated brain state, how do I do that? My PONS relationships. How do I relate to power? How do I relate to of courseness? How do I relate to not knowing? How do I relate to myself? So that I can stay really present with whatever activation is here is certainly, and probably, do I want to use the word always? Oof, I kind of do, but I don't know if it's right, y'all. But most of the time, anyway, a big part of creating a healing brain state that can hold it, yes. But only sometimes part of the mismatch. If there's some concern about how the attachment is happening with me, like it's becoming something that's scaring my client, or I'm getting nervous that maybe it's like overly dependent or overly pedestal-y of me or something like that, then I can always make that the point of focus. I can always contract to see how would it be if both of us came into relationship with this thing that's happening, and just make that the point of focus so that we can find out more. It may be that making me into a pedestal is a really important part of their healing. I don't know. I know I'm not perfect in the room. I know that. So I know if they tell me I am, that's not something I'll take in. that's something I take in as an experience that's true for them in this moment, but absolutely is not true about me. Or that I'm like the only one who could heal them or something like that. Like, I know that's not accurate. And maybe for whatever reason, some part of them needs to feel that. Okay, let's come into relationship with it and be curious about that. What is the hope there? So when I'm doing attachment work, I'm probably maybe paying attention to little micro moments between us. And I might even invite, oh, this moment between us felt kind of potent, important, energy rich. Would it be all right if we look together at the moment that just happened? I might do that a little bit more frequently with somebody who has that hope to work through some attachment wounding stuff. Whatever's happening in the relational dynamic, it might have really important emotional knowings in it. It might be protective in some way that's helping us guide our work. I want to partner with that. And that's what I would say about that. So this beautiful question was asked, how do I find the part that will become the focus of our work? How do we choose that together? How do we contract for that? Okay, so my basic plan is enough activation to work and contracting actually live together. So we're working and deciding at the same time. If we don't have enough activation in the space, what I find is that the who's answering me about where we need to work will be from more an intellectual space and often from a left-brainy sort of space. And the left brain is funny because often it knows more about what it already knows about what it already knows about what it already knows. So if what I'm looking for is to have more of that subcortical brain be part of the decision making, I'll need to add some activation into the work. I really want to welcome that as part of my contracting. So I'm going to do an example in order to walk us through this. So let's say I'm working with someone and their big hope in coming to therapy is to talk about their marriage. And they don't want to do couples therapy. They really want to be with how low the connection feels in their marriage. And they want to discern whether or not they want to stay or go. They would like to feel more connected in their marriage, but they don't know if that's possible for them. In suggesting the possibility of couples counseling, there was a vehement, nope, I'm here to look at me and how I might be contributing to this, and if connection with others is possible for me in this intimate space. I feel connected to friends, I feel connected to my kids, but I don't feel connected in my marriage, and maybe I should leave it. Right. So our big arc for the work is to build the connection in the marriage more if that's possible, and to discern what's right for this person. And as we're working on it, there are a couple of things that start coming up that are in the not okay category that I'm going, oh, this might block some of your connection in your marriage. And we're new in the work, so there are probably lots of things I don't know, but I've definitely noticed that this person has a very unintegrated response to even the potential of any kind of relational discord, and that sharing vulnerably is something that's really hard for them. And when other people go to vulnerability, there's a tendency to laugh it off. So maybe, I can't tell, but maybe vulnerability as a whole is in the not okay category. Maybe relational discord is in the not okay category. And it may be even those overlap a little bit. I'm not sure. So we're at the beginning of the session, and I've met with this person a few times at this point, and we're talking about how little they tell their partner what's going on for them. And at some point they say, I would be more connected if I spoke up more. I don't know. I mean, I do want to speak my truth more, but I don't know how. I'm too afraid they'll get upset. It'll all go wrong. So this is something I'm paying attention to that the client is sharing with me. And because I have my treatment plan in mind, my salience network put a little highlighter on that thing they said. I'm too afraid they'll get upset. It'll all go wrong. So I'm going with that and just wondering if they can help me understand more. It'll all go wrong in what way? How do you know for sure it'll all go wrong? These are the types of questions that I start asking. And really quickly, we learn that there's a big fear of relational discord. We've touched on it intellectually in our work, but we haven't touched on it emotionally so much yet. And some of the stuff they're saying about where they learned that relational discord always meant being left was related to their parents' divorce, and one parent left in a very big way, like did not have contact with this person as a child after the split. And so I was guessing, ooh, there's something about aloneness here. There's something about like the cost of relational discord was really challenging for this person, the potential of what could happen and what did happen. And the cost of it was pretty big. So it would make sense. So I'm guessing that we may be on the unlocking and learning step here. So let's just pause here and wonder, oh, between you and you, what does your system want to grab about what was shared already? And see if it's possible to trust that whatever is standing out to you is exactly what's right for you to learn in this moment. So we just noted that part of how I'm choosing a focus is about how I'm doing my treatment planning and how I'm focusing on what might be blocking you from the thing you're hoping for, which would be requiring a bigger integrated brain state. So I'm kind of listening with that lens in mind. So part of the focus comes from me, and the other part of the focus comes from our conversation and what they're bringing into the space. So now in this moment, I decide, well, let's see what's actually stirring. Rather than knowing I'm going to do parts work or knowing I'm going to do somatic work, what I do is I'm going to try symptom deprivation. Just to see what is it that's going to stir. It may be a single network pops. Maybe I end up needing to do parts work, but I'm not sure yet, right? So I decide, oh, I'm going to try symptom deprivation. And so we imagine a moment of speaking truth to partner. So I contract for the thing, I do the thing. And when I do this imagined moment of speaking truth to partner, multiple parts come up and react to this intervention. It's fast. There's a big feeling of abandonment, aloneness that comes up. There's another energy that's mad at me, that's scared about what therapy is, that's scared about what therapy's doing. There's a big left shift that wants to talk about what just happened and why am I doing what I'm doing, and why am I trying to do work in this way? And so there's all of this, boom, 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 is happening right at once. Now I go, oh, parts work might be helpful here. Ooh, and our activation is pretty high. So I'm going to see if it's possible to add some regulation with the treatment plan in mind. So I know I'm on my unlocking and learning step. At least I'm pretty sure. I mean, you never know for sure, but I'm guessing. Oop, there's a lot going on here. I might be on my unlocking and learning step. I've got multiple parts, and I know to add regulation, I'm going to lean into my rails. So I do my pawns check with me, undoing aloneness. Can I be in good relationship with everything that just came up and with the client who is having all these big things come up? And we're going to ask their witnessing mind to come and join us too. So, of course, I start with just reminding myself I do not know what we're going to discover. I don't know where to go. I do not know if any of these parts or the combination of any of these parts is who we should be talking to. I'm not sure. So I'm leaning into that. And I'm going to do a differentiated reflection and double check that I got it right. So I'm hearing this, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing this. These feels like different parts of you. How am I doing? Am I getting it right? And if it turns out I am hearing well, yep, this client is saying, yes, you're getting it right. This is what's happening. Then I can contract for a focus. So I might say something like this. Is one of these parts hoping to be with us as we think about speaking your truth more in your marriage? So I said that in a kind of specific way. For me, a contract in this moment is a bit of a formula. What is happening now in session, plus what is the bigger hope for our work? What are we working on? So when I say the thing, it's going to match that little formula I have to do a good contract is what's happening now, and reminder, here's what we were hoping to work on. When we hold that in mind, what of what's happening now is going to be helpful. So here's what I ended up saying, right? So this is a little, you just went through experience first, explain second. Here we go, experience again. So here's my contract statement. Is one of these parts hoping to be with us as we think about speaking your truth more in your marriage? The alone energy that just came up, the mad at me, scared about what's happening in therapy energy, maybe that intellectual one that really wants to understand more. Does one of them want to talk to us now as we talk about speaking your truth more in your marriage?